Hello everybody, it is me, Darcy, it is him, Kris. Welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast, the podcast where we sit here for about a time and talk about literally whatever floats my boat.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
It's all about me. Let's start this off the way we sometimes do, mostly do, always
We try. I think it was one time we didn't.
Channel news. What's up, Buttercup? What's been happening?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I've not paid attention this week.
Yeah. You see, when people hire people to work, a lot of the time they go, I want someone who's competent, who can do the job, and who knows what's going on. Me? No, I went, fuck all that. I want Kris. I want someone who doesn't know what's going on, is often just fucking staring off into the middle distance.
I do that.
And occasionally says, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Sometimes I say no.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Fuck competence. Fuck the rest of it. We want someone who doesn't fucking pay attention.
Look, it's my bad. Has anything changed?
No, everything's going about the same. Still on 35 subscribers.
Cool.
I think I did check today, but I can't remember. I didn't really check. In terms of what came out this, I'm pretty sure it still said 35. In terms of what came out this week, we have Rainbow Six Siege, love that game, and Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Yes. Still 35.
Rainbow Six Siege, that's just a really fun one. Because I just love playing. I love going back to that game. A game I used to be really, really average at, and now I'm like really, really not average. And I just want to get back to being average. I'm sick of my life. I'm sick of being above average at everything. I just want to be average at one thing.
No, I don't like these statements.
I want to be average at one thing. No. Yeah. So that was really fun. That was a fun one to film because I didn't know. They took out Terrorist Hunt. I didn't actually realize it's been so long since I played it. I didn't realize they'd taken out Terrorist Hunt. So I was going to jump in and do some Terrorist.
Did I end up playing Terrorist Hunt when we played it?
Probably.
Sounds like we probably did. I don't know.
So I wanted to jump in, play some Terrorist Hunt, fucking, kill some NPCs, and then be like, okay, now that I got the shooting and the movement and everything back in, I'll play a game. Yeah. That didn't happen, so I ended up playing like a practice match, which is like a full team of humans versus a team of bots. That was okay. It wasn't a full team of humans, it was like two of us, because, that's the problem with that kind of mode.
Yeah, no one wants to do it in that type of game?
No. Whereas Terrorist Hunt, it just used to be like lone wolfing, or you and your mates just doing the stuff. I'm actually really upset that they removed it.
It's disappointing.
But the other side of that was that, me and this guy had a fucking hilarious match. Hilarious match. It was hilarious. He did most of the work, and I just got the last kill. And then in the
fucking win for you.
And then in the actual real match against real human beings, I forgot to reload my gun, so I had a headshot on a guy, and I'm just like, shoot. Oh, I have no bullets, and then I died. And then in another match, do watch the video. It is hilarious. I let one of my teammates die because I'm fairly sure they ran around that corner. And my teammate runs out, and I'm just like, yep. And he gets shot, and I'm like, there they are. Bang. Like
using your team.
If I had shot like
not the correct way.
5 seconds earlier, there he would have survived. Because I had the shot lined up and everything. I'm just like, wait, bang, yeah, there he is. that guy I saw is 100% the bad guy.
Dick move.
So that was good fun to film. And then Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Fuck, is that a game? I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, so you did a solo one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did. I really enjoyed it.
Didn't get enraged?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fucking, there's a point. There's the points cut out of that because I'm just like, what the fuck?
Is that bottle just like wanting to let air out?
My bottle. No. Probably noises from upstairs.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so there's like points where I'm like pausing the game, being like, "What the?" And like just like screaming at the pause game, and like being like, "Here's my mouse. Here's my mouse. Why is my mouse over here? Here's my mouse." But yeah, no, and being like shit like, I want your arms to go around, not come in while your arm's coming in. Well, this is why you can't get over them.
You know what? Yeah, one thing I would like to see them do is make a slightly harder mode where what it does is it doesn't, like when you've got a setup like this, it doesn't just lock the mouse onto the screen. So you can accidentally go to one of the other screens and then fuck up.
Oh, see, I think the problem that you're overthinking is that it actually does a terrible job of tracking the mouse.
No, I'm well aware of that.
Like it does a fuck awful job. But in
this
terms
would
of
make
the
it
actual,
far worse.
in terms of the actual gameplay, I actually really like it because it was like at the time I was feeling pretty fucking annoyed at pretty much everything.
Yep. I'm aware.
Yeah, so then it was just kind of like it was such a cathartic gameplay, and it's like personally I think it's a great game because it is nice to remember everything's shit sometimes, and no matter how fucking hard you try, sometimes fucking shit's just gonna be shit.
Oh yeah.
And you're bad, and they're bad, and that guy over there he's shit too. Success isn't for you. Success is for other people. That's the name of the video. That's true. You know.
Oh, man, that's
sometimes funny. you need to play a game that is literally unfair.
It is. It's good to play a game.
It's really good to play a game that's just like, no, you're fucking shit.
So you're on a high, and then you just go and play this game, and it puts you back in the hole where you belong.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like this game doesn't give a fuck, and so it's like yeah, well it does. At the start, it's like, look, if you're having a really shit day, don't play this game because you're not.
Oh, it actually says that.
Yeah, it's like at the start, like because it's like the whole point of the game is that it's literally a metaphor for life.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there's like all these bits where it's popping up being shit like, you know, failure isn't falling, it's not getting back up and all this kind of shit. It's really like if you're playing it, it's like it's a very cathartic kind of thing, infuriating, cathartic, and it's like, but like it literally is like if you're the type of person that overdoes it with all this kind of shit, like you can't take that failure.
I can take it for a period of time.
It's like, or you've already had a really, really bad day, and you're like, you've already been kicked in the teeth. It's like, skip. Don't play it today. And I'm like, yeah. But as I said, it was just fucking. Yeah, I was just like, fucking. I really did enjoy it. It's as infuriating, but really cathartic along the same thing because as I said, real life, unfortunately, doesn't always give you the opportunity to just fucking be like, okay, scream.
I'm realizing you're gonna get me to play this game at some point.
Yeah, dude, it's as I said, it was at the point where I was at that time. That actually made me feel incredibly better because it was just one of those things. People are always like, oh, you got to do something cathartic when you're fucking when our peers fucking with you got to do something cathartic. And for me, that was because it was like you make a bit of progress. One mistake, you lose all of that progress. You scream, you yell, you fucking point at mouses and swing it around. It's not the
only game we've played that does that, though.
I think it does it better than a lot of other games because like you have that moment of just being like fuck, and then you're like okay, back to the start. Whereas like, and it's because the controls are so simple and there's no like the game I think you're thinking of is Bunny Man.
No, I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about Bunny Man because generally they're not massive levels, so it's.
Well, see, my thing with Bunny Man is
I was thinking
Bunny Man has the bullshit.
I was thinking Brett and Fred.
Sometimes. Yeah. No, I actually don't think Brett and Fred because
it doesn't do it as well.
Because Brett and Fred is about teamwork,
well, yes.
Whereas this is all about you just pretty much sticking in it.
Yeah.
And then Bunny Man, on the other hand, which is, as I said, is the one I thought you were thinking of.
Oh, that's just draining. It was just draining. There is nothing about that one.
Well, that's because it's bullshit. Like
I'm aware. And we're about to get back into it again.
Yeah, we are actually. We're going to film some Bunny Man.
Fucking shit.
But that's sort of where I think this game excels because, sure, like, it doesn't have the best mouse tracking. Like, its mouse tracking needs to be a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, that's just my thing. Because, like, there was one point where it was, like, showing that my mouse was over here, but when I paused, my mouse was in the bottom corner.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, okay, there's no way to correct this. I'm
no.
like, without getting fucked up, because my mouse is over here, I can't bring it over here without getting like thrown off the side of this cliff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's bullshit. Like, that's a bit bullshit. But like other times when things were going wrong, I was like, no, I wasn't patient enough. I wasn't doing this. But like, fucking.
Yeah.
Whereas Bunny Man, it's like you can do everything exactly the same and get the different result. That's why it's not cathartic.
Those springs.
The springs, the jumps that, one time a jump will send you flying, the next time it's just like, rip.
Yeah.
So, for me, what makes a game really cathartic is, or like just really base level de-stressing, is when it controls are simple, but they always do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're the two games that came out this week.
Yeah.
Two videos. As Kris just said, we're going to do some Bunny Man. We're also going to try and do our first Minecraft today, which hopefully will be good fun. Hey, if it does work, it'll probably be out next week. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out
at some point.
We'll fix it up. It'll be out eventually. Fucking yeah. So on the Patreon, I'm actually going to put up the first two videos that need to go on that because I need to clear space off my PC.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. So they're going to go up sometime this week. It's just the last draft, which is over a month old now, but just you only see mine and Kris's perspective. There's no switching to see whatever's happening. It's just a single perspective. I think that's what we decided we're going to do a lot on our Patreon. Like, we're going to put some stuff up there. Like, we want to do a Rocksmith video.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, you can't do that on YouTube because the whole game is copyright music.
It really is.
And then, but yeah, one of the other big things on Patreon was going to be.
Were we talking about Satisfactory as well? Or we're actually going to put that on YouTube?
Oh, Satisfactory will be on YouTube. It would just, again, be one of those things. Like, the other side of the Patreon is, like, you can just watch one person's thing. Because usually I try and cut between what's happening and, But I know sometimes it's like, I don't actually care. Because I'm just listening in the background, I don't care. So a lot of the time, Patreon, I just want to put, like, the full things on Patreon. Because sometimes there's exciting things happening on both of our screens.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes people don't care what Kris is doing. I don't. Ever.
There was a point where I was just going through killing the shark.
Exactly. So it's like sometimes, like I always try and just like edit, so it's like whatever is the more exciting thing is happening. But I'm just like, on Patreon, like, be a nice place to put supplementary videos of just what each of us is doing. Like, so instead of getting one video, you get two videos or three or whatever.
Yeah.
And just a good way to put out a little bit of extra content that we make. Also, I am editing the unedited or less edited version of the Boxing Day beatdown. It's really long. Like, that video on YouTube is like 30 minutes. The one that will be on Patreon is like an hour and a half. There's so much there.
Wait, is you falling over on the YouTube?
Absolutely.
Oh,
no. All of the earlier stuff.
So all the earlier stuff and all the stuff after.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the evidence of, if you want to see the evidence of me talking to the chat,
what else?
You'll have to see it on Patreon.
I have the internet back finally.
Yes.
And I still haven't fixed the Discord yet, but
yeah.
That's not a big deal. I will endeavour to try and fix that over the coming days, but at the same time, it's not the world's biggest deal.
No.
If you do have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments because we do read them. At least I do. Kris doesn't. He doesn't do much.
Again, I've got to go the long way to do it. I don't have access to the channel.
I think that just about wraps up channel news. I don't think there's anything else to talk about unless you don't. No, he didn't do anything. He hasn't done shit. Fucking Buttercup. It's a Powerpuff Girls joke.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of what it is.
That make me bubbles.
Like you're blonde.
Yes.
Or an idiot?
No, because I'm blonde and I have hung up on people on the phone. Hello? Goodbye. Don't care.
That's true. Oh man.
Yeah. So going bowling tomorrow, Kris. That looks like fun. That'll be fun. We doing laser tag?
We'll decide when we get there, as we always do. I think we will.
Yeah.
Should
Good times.
See if it's pissing down rain again.
Good times. It was really, really hot last time we went there. Like, really hot.
It
like,
was.
There was a point where I'm running around in that laser tag thing, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a pregnant woman in here somewhere.
Oh damn, there was.
Yeah, no, I was when we went up and did laser tag, I was like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, this will be fun. You know, we got everyone, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like, and it's like, you know, the rules of laser tag and no running and shit. I'm like, man, that's not gonna happen.
No,
we're gonna run, and then I'm running at one point. I'm like, I'm not going to run around corners. That was the that was the decision I made, because at one point, Soph walked around the corner. I was just like, oh hey, and then she shot me, and I was like, well, okay, nice.
Oh, fair.
I'm like, but I was just kind of like, oh, because, and then I was like, mental decision to myself: do not sprint around corners. I'm like, check the corner first, because the last thing you want to do is bull over a pregnant woman.
No, that is fair. There was twice I almost ran into it. I wasn't actually running.
Dude, she was hiding in a corner at one point.
Like,
she just kept sitting there, and I'm just like,
so
motherfucker, because she shot like 7 people, because she was just sitting going like, boop, boop, boop. I was like, why do people keep walking here?
Because my thing is, like, when she was in one of the corners, like, I got shot by someone else. I think it was Clinton behind us. I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to duck off to the side just to get back up. And as I duck off to the side, it's like, oh, fuck, there's Sophie. Holy shit, when did she get there?
Yeah. No, I did think that through, like, when we're like, yeah, we're going to do laser tag, and it was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then we did that, and I'm like, I doubt I was the only one thinking it, but I was like, at the time, I was like, wait, is this a good idea? I'm like, I know what. I'm
like, that was so much hotter than the last time we did it.
One, it was really hot. 2, I was just like, I know what we were like last time we did it, and we were like, last time we did it, I kept getting roughhousing penalties against me, and I was like, oh, hang on. And I'm like, should we really be doing this with a lady who is several months pregnant?
Seems like the perfect thing to do, apparently.
Yeah.
Because we did.
To be fair, there was less roughhousing because I wasn't roughhousing last time.
That is true.
I just kept getting all the penalties when people ran into me.
I don't think I got any roughhousing the first time, but it's because I dodged people.
No. I was literally sitting there and I went, okay, and I walked around the corner and Jane came sprinting into me and like smacked into me and it's like, roughhousing, penalty, 30 seconds. I was like, the fuck? I'm like, I got run into, and then it's like the next time I like have my gun, I went around a corner, shot, and then the person I shot came running. I think it was Jade again. Hit the gun, and it's like roughhousing penalty, a minute, and I'm like, wait, these are going up by 30 seconds. I'm not even doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
No, see, I had the thing of like, I almost had it with Jaden a few times, but I was always quick enough to jump and dodge out of it.
And the actual time I did roughhouse, I just kind of grabbed someone by the back and was like, hold my gun.
Just, wow.
Human shield, motherfucker.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so no, that'll hopefully be good fun.
It would, yeah, it will.
Yeah, get the team back together.
Okay.
I gotta beat Jordan this time. My last showing wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
Especially considering the first time.
Yeah.
The first time I almost beat him. Until that bullshit sister luck came out. And
I don't know
she
what
rolled
the hell
fucking
happened
3 strikes.
in a row after going the whole game, doing so poorly for herself. So,
although I did give myself a break this one.
Yeah.
Last time we went bowling, so the time before last time we went bowling, I could actually bowl.
Yes.
This time I couldn't get down.
Oh yeah.
Because I couldn't bend through my hamstring. I was like, I went to do it once. I went, actually I can't do that, and I went, oh fuck, this is going to be a fun night.
So you should be able to do it this time.
Hopefully. Yeah. But I was like,
we'll just have to see if I actually start off playing properly.
No, you won't. You suck.
Hey, look. I start to play properly towards the end. It's just never at the start.
Anyway, no, look, it is fucking, yeah. Should be good fun. Should be a good night. Good afternoon, good evening.
Oh, yes.
Good whatever.
All of the above?
Oh, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows? I might throw shoes at people.
What?
Yeah.
It's 100% going to be me.
No, I'm just...
Jordan?
No, I might throw Jordan at shoes.
Yes. Okay, can everyone just put their shoes there? Hey, Jordan, come here.
Crazy thing is, like, so easily do it.
Yes, you could.
Like, that's like one of my favorite things, though, because like I talk to people all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but you can't like," they're like Jono.
Yeah.
Jono looks at me all the time. It's like, "Oh yeah, but you go to the gym all the time. You're not that strong." I'm like, Jono, have you ever actually seen the things that I just do? He's like, "What?" I'm like, yeah. "Well, did you miss the day that I was?" Because he was at the bar, and like Caleb came up and jumped into my arms, and I was like, "Hey, sweetness, I gotta go pee," but he's like, "Take me to the bar," so I'm literally just carrying Caleb around. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, that's just kind of what I do. I'm like, all of that shit is like, I'm like, yeah, picking up Jordan, easy.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's how I used to keep my first years in order. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, just pick them up and be like, oh, pull your head out of your ass or I'll throw you out that window. And they're like, you can't do that. And I just, whoop, I'm like, over the shoulder. I'm like, yes, I can. That's why they call me Big Papa Darcy.
Papa Darcy.
I fucking keep this shit under control.
Yeah.
Because it was, at one point we had fucking our tutors on the floor were the two smallest guys you'd imagine. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but they don't have any authority. It's like, no, they don't. Me do. I'm like, I do what they ask me to because they supply me with McDonald's.
That's fair. It's understandable.
They keep the muscles rolling. No, it's fucking hilarious though.
Yes, that's fun. Hey, maybe eventually you won't be able to do that as easily with Jordan.
No, it's... You see, the thing is, right?
Depends on how well I do.
He'd have to put on
a lot.
He'd have to put on a lot of weight, and it's not.
I don't think he's going to that easily. It's.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Oh.
Last time I checked, which was a while ago, granted, and I've had the whole injury and had to stop.
Yes.
But I could lift my own self above my body.
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't getting that heavy.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So like, there's like that.
No. Well, maybe eventually, but by that point,
that was weights, and I'll always say this because, like, again, for people, some of the people in our lives are really don't understand the difference. Lifting a human is so much harder than lifting weights.
Yes.
Because we aren't properly balanced. Like, because we used to do this thing at college where I'd be like, you just like, if you were bored and not doing anything, you just like tell one of the first years, like, come over here. Yeah, I'm gonna bench press you. And you're bench pressing humans, and it's like, and they're like, oh, you can't bench press me. It's like, oh, well, how much do you weigh? And they're like, oh, 70. It's like, okay, well, I bench press 100, so I should be able to. And you're like, go 1. You're like 2, and you're like, yeah, that's about all I can do. And they're like, but you bench press, and it's like, no, but
you're not balanced.
You're not a bar.
No.
And I don't like holding your ass.
Fair point.
It's like, and I can't wrap my fingers around you to push. Because you're too wide. You're too wide.
Too wide.
Get that ass under control.
Become a twig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although I think the funniest one ever was one of the guys was like bench pressing, because like that was always a part of like all the scat ones and shit. And he's bench pressing one of his first years, and the first year slips, so he just grabs him. He's like, ah! And he's like, oh shit, sorry, because he just kind of was bench pressing him like you would, and as he slips this way, he just went like this, just crushed his nuts.
That is funny. Holy shit.
Saved him from a minor slipping injury. By giving him a major crushing injury. No, but yeah, fuck it. That was great.
Yeah, no, that's funny. That's pretty funny.
Anyway, I'm moving along.
Yeah, yes.
You know, whatever. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, bowling.
Yeah, bowling, yeah.
Yeah, don't need to talk about it anymore.
No, it's...
You know, until tomorrow, we won't know what's going to happen.
Well, that's it. Probably pissing down in rain again.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It has actually been doing that pretty much non-stop.
It's like sun's out all day, some clouds here and there.
Sun's out, buns out.
And then come the afternoon,
why are all these
in come the clouds and the rain.
Why are all these men running around with their pants around their ankles. Oh, sun's out, buns out.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So I actually did my job today.
Oh shit!
Today, and I looked at some news stories. I looked at some stories that I thought, hey.
Okay.
This might interest Kris, because I know Kris is a big Lego fan. I also know that I know that Kris is also a big Subnautica fan.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know they're making Lego Subnautica.
No, I didn't. I had no idea.
I've only seen like the big ship from the start of Subnautica, which could have been fan made, but also could have been like the thing of Lego sets. I just think that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Because Subnautica is such a pretty game.
Yeah.
But it's also laced with the threat of drowning.
Yes.
Being eaten by giant, terrifying sea monsters.
Yes.
And I just think, let's give that to small children so that they can build their own terror. Let's really get them in there.
Yes.
Let's make them scared. Let's allow them to build their own fear. My favourite will be the drowning, because I forgot that I ran out of oxygen set. But
yeah, no, that one's a common one. I think I would do the same.
I'm also looking forward to being eaten by Reaper Leviathan set.
Yeah. Mine actually, I think mine would be the overestimation of the oxygen left. I mean, I'm not too far down. I could get there. Oh no, fuck.
I think another good set would be I accidentally forgot to strengthen my deep sea base and it crushed under the weight. That would be a great one as well.
Someone tried to make that. Is it too soon?
Don't say it.
I haven't said it. That's why I said, is it too soon?
Yes, it is. It's always too soon.
Fair point.
No, I'm actually kind of a fan of that, because like some of the shit in Subnautica is pretty cool. Of course, fair. I don't know why'd you say I was a Lego fan? I don't own any Lego. I own heaps of fucking Lego.
You own more than I do. I own none.
I'm a big Lego fan. I find myself transitioning now into because like I got some really good old Lego sets.
Yes.
Fucking Republic Venator class Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Got that bad boy. But I find now that the Lego sets, they kind of fall into two categories, and I have so much fucking Harry Potter Lego. Don't even get me started on that. I got all of that up to like the last movie they made.
Oh jeez.
Every single motherfucking set.
Jesus. Okay, fair enough. So you're out doing Peter's collection.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
So yeah, like the old sets used to be really, really like finicky and stuff, but cool. But I find like the newer sets, they're kind of like either super simple or like the $300 sets where it's like build the Millennium Falcon and you build like a thing this big of the Millennium Falcon and it's just about building the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Whereas like the old sets used to be like, yeah, you can play with them and they're fun, but they're also got a little bit of complexity. Whereas like now it's like, yeah, build this Lego set. It comes with like a car and a tree, and so you can play with it. And it's like, where's the complexity in that?
Yeah, no.
Or it's like, hey, build out of Lego this Bugatti Veyron. It's like, okay, that's complex.
Yes, yeah,
but it's not for children to play with.
No, it's not. But you can open the doors and then turn the steering wheel. And,
absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of Lego. I'm a massive fan because I love the idea of like
building shit.
Well, I was gonna say I love the idea of getting a box of something, spending all day building it, then having to go to bed before you can play with it because you spent all day. Okay, that was my childhood. And then having to put it all away because you can't leave your Legos out.
No.
But yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, Lego Subnautica.
You can walk into Dad's place and there's Lego everywhere. It's not a joke. It's literally everywhere. Yeah, no,
I like that though. Like I saw this fucking the Lego Subnautica stuff, and I don't know if it's the same set, but I think it's hilarious because you know how the ship crashes and then explodes. Yeah. Well, it's like they have like the full ship, but then the next picture was like the front half of the ship missing. And it looks like it just slide apart together. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Moving right along because that's about all I've got to say on Lego.
Yeah.
Lego, get back to being good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And then not build it. I have a habit of doing that.
I really want to get the McLaren F1 race car.
Oh,
Lego set.
That'd be nice.
Just because because they don't have an Aston Martin one. They don't have an Aston Martin Lego set at all, which I find
Get on to that.
deeply upsetting. Because I would definitely fucking go out and spend $300 to build an Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Put it on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Disney Plus are making 4 new Star Wars shows.
Oh,
for this year.
I didn't know that. Which ones?
I haven't read. I didn't read any of it. I just went, fucking, can we stop, please? Disney Plus, all you make is rubbish. You haven't.
I think I may have heard something on it, and they're bringing in someone else, maybe.
I think.
May have. I can't remember.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on what it could be.
Yeah.
Because technically, a new show just means it could just mean a new series, a new season. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
So we're probably getting Ahsoka season 2.
Probably. Yeah.
That'll be thrilling.
Because that went down well.
Look, the best part of Ahsoka was when they brought Hayden Christensen back, and it was the best part because it was like, oh yeah, he's still fucking awesome.
Yep.
Why didn't they teach these other people to fight? And that's my problem with this.
Well, I think they had the. It's like I don't think any of the new people have the drive to do that outside of it either.
No,
whereas
but
I think.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've always.
Did.
Here's the thing that's it's part of why TV shows are better than movies technically. From a technical standpoint, you have more time, which means you also have more time to do the training because like the pre-production isn't short or anything.
No.
You know, I'm making a TV show. These are the actors we're getting. Blah blah blah. This blah 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 that. And like, I can't actually state that because I've never worked in the industry. But you know what? If you are going to apply to be a Jedi, because you don't just like walk in and be like, "Oh, I'd like to try out for this Star Wars." Okay, yep. Here's my piece. Oh, so which character am I going to be? Oh, you're going to be this Jedi. Oh, fuck! I didn't expect that.
Oh, no.
You know who you are auditioning for.
Yeah, you go and do audition for it,
you should
and
at
then
least
you may
have some preparation for.
From what I understand,
do
you go and do
fights.
the audition for that specific role,
And then they do.
and then they go, they may turn around and be like, I don't think you're right for that one, but if you should audition for this role.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You now know you're auditioning for a different role.
Whatever.
What role it is.
There is sometimes where it's like, oh, hang on, no, that didn't work. Let's pull in this person, and so. But even then, then you go into doing the stuff you need to do to be that person. And my thing with Star Wars is in the movies, that'll bring me on to the next part really nicely.
Right.
That's written down here because I didn't actually get them in the same order. But like it brings. You would think that you would be like, okay, if I'm playing a Jedi, I should at least know a little bit of how to make a sword fight look
real or
smooth.
realistic. Yeah. Yep.
Because that was one of the biggest things with the Ahsoka series. All the shit I saw with it, their sword fights are like, and it's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do that. No, what the fuck? Or like the classic Rey, which you can't argue for that one because the movies should have had exactly the same as the movies beforehand, where they literally had to make weapons disappear from people they were fighting because the choreography and the training was so bad. That it was just like, actually, if this person still has both of their weapons, she's dead. So, you just, between scenes, drop that weapon, please. Thank you. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, if you're going to bring Hayden Christensen back, and like, the same with Ewan McGregor, like, when we actually got to see him fight with a lightsaber, those were some of the better lightsaber fights because, unarguably, the best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars is that one at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yes, 100%.
The one between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen is the fastest.
Yes.
The most it's fast, it's energetic. Apart from that one part where they flourish at each other for a little bit, but if you know anything about Jedi, then you know that's necessary in a Jedi Master Padawan fight.
Well, yes.
Or Master Learner fight. A bit of flourishing just to,
But
respect
definitely
each
not
other.
master fight because
But yeah, no. If no, that's all the joke there. That was just flourishing for the sake of flourishing. Yeah. But the rest of that fight is done really well.
Yeah.
You know, moves are carried out with precision. They're actually trying to hit each other, which is something you rarely see in anything, which I find really bad because it's like, okay, like let's say like it's a medieval one, where you're actually swinging like an unsharpened aluminium sword. Like, okay, you might not want to swing like you want to chop someone in half because that can still do a lot of damage.
Yes.
But when you're Star Wars and what you're swinging at them is a piece of plastic with some LED lights in it, make it look like you actually want to make contact with them.
Yeah.
Because every modern Star Wars, especially Ahsoka, watch Ahsoka, you see that there so many of the cuts, they're just not aiming at anything. They're like, hold on, I'm aiming above your head. And it's like, then the person blocks it. And it's like, why? When they were aiming up there, you should have just gone stab, 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 stab. Actually, no, you shouldn't, because it's modern Disney Star Wars. Stabbing someone with a lightsaber is
a waste of time. They'll survive.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm just, ventilating this person.
Hitting you with a bug catcher? Yeah. Oh, not bug. A bug zapper. Sorry.
It's not even a bug zapper. It's just you burn a hole in them, and they, it's one of those classic burn a hole in person, and the person's like, no, I didn't even need anything that was right there.
No, not at all.
The torso, classically full of stuff that's unimportant.
Exactly. Who needs it?
Whereas, if you remember from like fucking episode 2, Obi-Wan gets stabbed in the leg, and that's a fucking that almost incapacitates the motherfucker.
Yeah.
He gets stabbed and then a slice across the arm, and he's like, and he's down. He can't.
And
get
then
up.
Qui-Gon getting hit in almost the same spot actually dies.
There's a lot of people being like, if Qui-Gon got medical help sooner, it's like, okay, but fucking how soon is medical support?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Qui-Gon was literally in the palace on Theed, underneath the palace on Theed, and yes, there was the whole rest of the fight that finished, and the talking. But this motherfucker Sabine, she got stabbed in a tower on the outskirts of town. Ahsoka shows up and it's just like, okay. We see that it takes some time to get from town to her fucking outpost when she drove there. So Ahsoka just comes. Fucking no, it's stupid. It's just
doesn't make sense.
It's Disney being like, we want to add stakes without actually adding stakes, so you can get stabbed with a lightsaber now without it being a big deal. It's like, if you want to add stakes without adding stakes, you do what they used to do in Star Wars: cut off a hand.
Yes. It's a common thing
because you can just get a new robot hand.
Yes. And how much cooler is that?
And wear a glove. Everyone gets to wear gloves.
Everyone's just wearing gloves. Mainly so they don't have to keep putting in the robot hand. But it works.
Well, actually, in episode 6.
Yes.
So what they did actually makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because Anakin wears the glove to cover up his robot hand. Luke's robot hand actually has like a fake skin over the top of it.
Does, yeah.
And so they didn't have to do anything, but he wears the glove in number 6 because he gets shot in the hand at one point and it burns off the skin.
Yes.
Which I thought was just really cool because he's like in the start of it, he's just got his 2 hands, and then they're just like, because whatever. But I kind of like that how it's like, because that's that progressive technology between the 2 movies, even though the earlier ones had the better real world technology.
They did, yeah.
But speaking of that, I was reading a news story, and not even a news story, it was like an article that someone had recently written, and I was like, what was the point of writing this article? Because this is legitimately what they said. George Lucas has confirmed that the prequel lightsaber fights were better because we were actually seeing Jedi at the height of their power. Yeah, obviously. And like, everyone kind of accepted that. It's like, yeah, okay, sure there was the technological difficulties of lightsaber fights in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
That, was a little bit easier as we transitioned to more digital mediums.
Yes.
However, at the same time, Luke's only a proper Jedi, like, once in the whole original trilogy. It's like, yeah, And Obi-Wan's like a decrepit old man in the original trilogy.
Yep.
And Vader is just Vadering in. Had a very hard time seeing.
Yes.
But yeah, like I was like, what the fuck?
It's, yeah.
Why is someone like wasting time writing this down? Obviously, that's the point. When the Jedi were, around being Jedi, training how to be Jedi, being Jedi, and no one was hunting them down, trying to murder them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could get really good, and they could flip around and stuff, and jump, and cut things in half, and no one gave a shit.
True.
Whereas, like, in the time of the Empire, it's like, hey, I just saw this dude chomp and flip through the air, cut a guy in half with a lightsaber, and fucking take out a whole fucking thing of stormtroopers. Vader's gonna show up, and he's a fucking stone cold badass.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, again, totally unrelated, because I recently bought Star Wars. Survivor.
Yes.
On the PC. That was a mistake.
Yeah, okay.
The PC port is horrid. I don't... I have all of the settings on the lowest, which I shouldn't need to do. And it still stutters and freezes and...
Oh.
I'll get attacked by an enemy and I'll hear the noises happening, but the game's frozen. And it's like, can't do anything, and then you get hit, and you're just like, what the fuck? Or I'll be like in the middle of a jump, like a platforming section, and I'm like, cool. I don't know if I'm making this jump or not.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, but apparently, I knew it was bad. The PC port was rubbish when it first came out, but I thought they would fix it by now. But
because it's been out for a while now.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, I'm playing it. The story seems pretty cool at this point.
Okay.
I'm not far into it because of all the aforementioned issues.
No ponchos this time?
Cal makes a mention of that.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Literally where I'm up to, I've literally only just finished the tutorial side, and I'm in like the free exploring of stuff.
Yeah.
And you meet someone who's you meet a droid, and the droid says you're not wearing classic Jedi attire. It's like, now I'm more into ponchos. But no poncho as of yet.
No, I believe they don't add them in it at all.
Oh, I'm sure there's a poncho hidden somewhere in the game.
Maybe, because that was one of the big things about the voice actor.
Yeah, I know.
Because he'd always go on stage with ponchos, and then when they were doing all the stuff, all the fucking media for this game, he was pretty much going through it, just like talking about the ponchos. As one of the fucking creators is like, no, not again. And he's just so like seems so annoyed that there's no ponchos in the game.
Oh, there's jackets, so I think there might be a poncho because it would just be classed in the jacket section.
I mean, they may have added it in later,
absolutely.
but there's a possibility they didn't, which is why he was just going.
But yeah, no, it is actually mentioned in the game because but things like you're not wearing classic Jedi attire because you meet someone and they're like, yeah, I'm a Jedi, and they're like, oh, you're a Jedi, and it's like, why aren't you wearing classic? Because they're from like a different era, the High Republic. So. Yeah.
And
it's like, nah, I'm more of a poncho guy. And I was like, is that the line?
Hey. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so like I am enjoying it. It is fun. There is one thing I do find a little bit annoying.
Okay.
Cal does seem a wee bit underpowered still, and I get it. It's part of the game. Like,
they've got to add progression, but
it's like you should. So no spoiler because it's literally the first boss you fight is the ninth sister.
Okay, yeah.
So the one that you beat in Kashyyyk.
Yes.
In the first game. And, that's a pretty tough fight. I'm like, it shouldn't be a tough fight. Not at this point in Cal's.
No.
Because I'm like, and they're like, oh, but Inquisitors are getting... It's like, no, but the Inquisitors are known to be weak.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of their whole thing. Only the head Inquisitor, and this is throughout the whole Star Wars modern canon, only the head Inquisitor was actually worthy of being a Jedi.
Yeah.
And he was a Jedi.
Yeah.
All the others were like either just Force sensitives or like younglings at the time of the fall, which means they weren't, and they're not trained to be Jedi. Yeah, they're trained to be pretty much hunting dogs. Yeah. Use their powers in the Force are weak. It's like it's part of all of it. It's literally what they say about the Inquisitors. And at this point, Cal's again. He was only a youngling Well, he was actually a Padawan at the Purge.
Yes he
But
was.
since then, he's gone through, like, the whole first game is about him reawakening his powers.
Yeah.
Then there's, like, the because I don't know how long the games are set apart, but there's a time gap, and the whole time he's been fighting and training and using his powers and doing all this. It's like he should be trouncing this an Inquisitor he beat when he wasn't even when he wasn't even a Jedi Knight, when he was still like running from that whole life, should be nothing to him. And it kind of implies that in the fucking film clip where he's just kind of like and kills her. But I'm like the actual gameplay, there are parts I'm still like, this should be fixed. Like, I hate to say this because I know that you need enemies, but fucking stormtroopers in this game are too much.
Yeah.
It's like every stormtrooper should be beaten with a single strike. Because, yeah, when he was relearning and was fresh and hadn't used a lightsaber for ages, a stormtrooper with a stun baton might have been a big deal. But now he's like a hardened rebel who's been like fucking fighting the Empire. He's, you know, he survived Vader and all this. It's like,
that's true, yeah.
He didn't fight Vader, don't get me wrong. He did not fight Vader. He ran, but he's
that
literally...
was the smarter option.
He's like... It's like... About it. He's... This development that's happened, like even Purge Troopers, they are a bit easier in this game. Like, they're not treated like the mini-bosses like they are.
Okay.
But... yeah, like the things that were hard in the last game should be so much easier now. Even like the security droids.
Yeah. The
security droids were a challenge in the last game. For Cal now, though, after he's been spending years like working on himself, because that's the thing. The whole story is he didn't spend the years hiding or whatever. He's literally been there being a Jedi. Everyone knows he's a Jedi.
That's true.
Vader and like the whole setup of the start of the game is he's being caught because he's a Jedi, doing Jedi things, and he's going to get handed over to the Emperor. So you know, I just find it really annoying when it's like, when you know you're like fighting 3 stormtroopers and you're like, oh, this is actually a tough. It's like, no, it's not. This should not be a tough fight.
Well, even in the first game, it's like 3 stormtroopers aiming at you wasn't even hard. I was playing that on Grandmaster. The hardest difficulty where it's supposed to be pinpoint.
Like, the other thing is I'm sitting there, and I don't think. Again, it might just be the port I'm playing. If I was playing on like the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, it might be better. But like, there's points where I've been like block, and as the strike's coming in, you know, like you had during the first game, so you could actually get a perfect block. And it's like, no, it just hits you. And you're like, oh, I'm fucking really sure I blocked that. And so like you're being forced to like block as they're winding up the strike, not as the strikes that are supposed to be delivered.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, there's a few things I'm not a big fan of. But again, one of my big things is that Cal is supposed to be... Oh, actually, the other thing is the amount of force power you have. That's ridiculous.
Super low.
Super fucking low. And I get it. Again, it's progression, but it's like...
But when you do the progression in the first game and then you get to the
second,
that's and just drop it back down, it's
that's
like,
the thing. That's the thing that annoys me. It's like, oh, but it's like, but you kind of, what you're saying is that the first game was progression, and the first game's progression made sense. Cal was literally unlocking these abilities.
Yes.
Whereas in this game, a lot of the abilities from the first game should just already be unlocked.
They all should be,
and
because it's the same story.
Exactly, and his power should be higher. How do you counter that? You give him harder things to fight.
Yes.
It's like, I don't mind that, like, fighting the wildlife and stuff is still hard, because, yeah, cool, whatever. But, like, and, you know, like, you know, in the first game, you block a stormtrooper's shot back at him, he dies instantly.
Yeah.
Same thing. But remember how you were like, oh, 3 hits on a scout trooper with a baton?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing as well. And it's like, no, that shouldn't be a thing.
No.
It's like, literally, a block on a stun trooper with a baton should be like, bang, kill. Bang, kill. I think it does get a bit like that where I was at, but I'm just like, there's just a lack of progression feeling in the game.
Yeah.
Where it feels like you're retreading the first game's kind of progression, and it's like, no, I shouldn't be doing this.
No, it should have been something different in this game.
And for things like force push and pull, oh mate, they shouldn't use anywhere near as much force as they seem to do.
No, especially when
because
he's been training for years.
It's like they're the simple. Like when he was first learning, yeah, it was like, okay, well that should take a bit because he's been fucking doing this shit for the last. He's been hiding the fact he's a Jedi for the last, X years.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it's like, no, he's been using his powers and doing stuff. This shouldn't be a challenge to him. And what's the term? Ludonarrative dissonance or whatever they call it, where it's like the story doesn't match the gameplay.
Yeah.
So the classic example is Uncharted.
Yeah.
Where it's like Drake like runs away from two guys with guns in the story, but then like in the gameplay you just like hold my beer while I massacre an entire army.
Yeah.
So it's like the story and the gameplay don't match up. Well, that's the same for this.
Well,
in the story,
you just said it with the tutorial with the Ninth Sister.
Yeah.
It's a hard fight, and then you get to the cutscene, and he just
and it's a hard fight for fucking stupid reasons. Like she goes into this stance where you can't hit her. She's like using the force to predict your moves.
Okay.
So the only way you can kind of do anything to her is use your force powers. But you can only grab her like twice with the force and then have to wait a ridiculous amount of time for it to charge back up. So it's like you're literally sitting there not being able to do anything. And she's not attacking you either. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's
and then if you try and attack her, she'll go into an unblockable strike, so you just dodge that and then no, she's still in that stance. It's like, what the fuck is actually happening here?
That's ridiculous.
It's just not a good fight. And I don't, I just think there's better ways to do it. But I also think that, I also think that because again, I understand that we were going for the Dark Souls kind of play, like gameplay type stuff.
Were.
But I also think that like Dark Souls works for Dark Souls.
It does.
It works for any of the Soul type games, but there's a lot of games it doesn't. There's a lot of things I don't think it works that well for, and it worked well with Jedi Fallen Order. Yes. I'm not gonna lie, it did work really well. However, we're now playing a fully trained Jedi, and it's like, oh, he's not fully trained. He does mention that he got his knighthood in the field, but again, he's supposed to be relatively trained. He's, he is a fully trained Jedi.
Yes.
There's just a lot that I'm like, with the story of what a Jedi can actually do, some of these things that are fucking with him shouldn't even be an issue.
No, it shouldn't. As that
it's like the part where I'm fighting like.
I'm just trying to think of what they like. Better ways they could have done it. Really,
the thing
there'd be a bunch of ways they could have done it. But
well, okay, so it's like
because how do you put in like if stormtroopers are so easy, what's the point in putting them in the first place?
Numbers.
I suppose, yeah.
But like, and that's part of the problem. We see it in all of the movies, all of the stuff. The way that they tend to beat Jedis is literally overwhelming numbers.
True.
Because they can't block everything. But the other thing is like you're coming up in this game, you're coming up against like single raiders, they're called, and they've got like an electro staff, because that's the point. I mean, I'm fighting raiders.
Yeah.
And they've got like an electro spear thing.
Yeah. And
it's like, if you let your guard down for a second, they can be a real threat.
Oh yeah.
Because like 2 or 3 hits takes your health right down to fuck all, and you don't really have that many stims. Because of the resetting enemies, like again, that's another part of the Dark Souls thing where I'm like, it makes sense, but it also doesn't really work for this.
Yeah.
It's like the enemy kind of respawns should be more secular than, enemies are going to respawn every time you stop at one of these. Because that means that you can literally, as long as you don't rest at one of the meditation points, the enemies should never reset, from my understanding.
I mean, that's the way Dark Souls game really works.
So it's like, you could literally go to another planet, and as long as you're just chugging through, come back, and it's like there's no enemies here.
No, that's a little different. Okay. So even in Dark Souls games, that would be the same as like fast traveling somewhere, because you're going to another place.
Maybe. I don't
know.
So
by the time
I don't know. I haven't tested it, but
when you think about it, you're going to another planet.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That would make sense for them to be back. Whereas,
Yes.
like, you stopping for 5 seconds doesn't make sense to respawn everything that you've just massacred along the way.
Yeah, because I know pretty sure it was one of the Souls games. There was 2 things you could do. You could stop at a bonfire, or you could rest at it. Resting at it is what brought the enemies back.
Yeah, well, that's the same with this. You rest.
Stopping at it doesn't do shit.
If you stop at it, you just put that as a checkpoint.
Yes.
And you can do all your upgrading.
Yeah.
But you actually have to rest to restore health and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is that I'm just kind of like, one, the lightsabers feel a little bit better because now when you actually hit people, you cut off limbs and shit.
Okay, sweet, that's good.
Most stormtrooper deaths end with them losing an arm, at least.
Yeah.
But again, you are hitting them with the most dangerous weapon in the history of weapons.
Yeah.
And so you'll be sitting there being like,
sense.
bang, 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 killed ya. It's like, whereas they've got like a pointy stick with a bit of electricity, and they're like, and you're like, holy shit, that took away a third of my health.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So there's a bit of a fucking, again, just ridiculousness there. Where it's like I'm like, I understand how hard a lightsaber can be to put into a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, but there are ways around that, like being like, oh yeah, these guys are cannon fodder, so yeah, hit them once they're dead. And it's like, oh, this is a mini boss. Well, this mini boss, you're not actually really hitting because he's gonna block. You've got to break his block to actually hit him. But once you hit him, you know,
you do decent damage.
You're hitting him with a lightsaber, and you're hitting him in the upper torso with a lightsaber. You know, he's dead. But he can block you for fucking days.
Yeah, that would be fine.
And I think that's actually how the first mini boss I went against ended, because it was actually one of the first mini bosses you fight is in when you get to Greaser's canteen.
Yeah. And
there's like a mini boss and the boss of the Raiders, and the mini boss starts and he's like, and then I like just broke his block and like I think I hit him like 6 or 7 times and he died, and I was like, in terms of a fight, it was kind of anticlimactic. Like, to be a mini boss, I was like, I've had harder times with just some of the enemies out in the real world.
Yeah.
Because I'm just dealing with so many of them. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much how a lightsaber should act when...
Should do.
It's like, I shouldn't be sitting there against, like, fucking something and being like, hold on, I've got a baseball bat. It's like, no, this is a lightsaber.
But then the other thing of not being able to get through a door.
Yeah, well, there's that as well.
A lightsaber.
Yeah, so, you know...
I'll get the game eventually and play it myself, because may as well continue the story.
Oh, absolutely. It's worth it. But I was just like, there's a bit of an issue there.
Because I'll be getting it on
one of the consoles.
Probably the PS5.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. I thought you might like this one. A Call of Duty developer has said that Bobby Kotick or whatever his name is, you know, the old CEO of Activision, or current CEO of Activision, I don't know.
Sort of, yeah.
Literally a developer from Call of Duty said his decisions made the game worse. I went, nah, shit. You don't think the person fucking who was like, we need to make this game more money grabby, made decisions that were bad for gameplay?
Who would have guessed it?
Yeah, no. Again, one of those fucking things where it's just like
one of those pointless comments.
Yeah, I love it though. I love it so much because it's like, oh, really? You think Call of Duty could have been better if it wasn't so fucking concentrated on getting money out of you? Really?
No. Who would have guessed?
Oh yeah, it turns out Call of Duty would have been way better if we'd actually focused on gameplay and not the store.
Well, maybe. Who knows? We'll never know, guys.
Funny, I always thought video games were about going to the store page and buying shit and then going to the game and being like, oh, all of the shit I bought is worthless because this game is shit.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys made money off me, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, here's something interesting.
Okay.
There's a new animated Lord of the Rings movie in the works.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it's about Rohan and the wars of Rohan. Could be interesting.
Could be.
I can't remember the exact number they said, but there's a number that no Lord of the Rings movie has ever made less than.
Okay.
And it's a pretty big number. Like, I think it's like $500 million or something.
Okay,
like that.
Yep.
And they reckon that this movie will be the one to break that streak.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, it's not.
To break the streak. Oh, as in it's
going to be the first one that hasn't made that much
money. My bad. I was thinking the other way around.
No.
Why was I thinking the other way around?
Don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, man.
I couldn't tell you.
All of these, we've made 6 movies. Each of them has made
I'm
$500 million.
I keep hearing a buzzing coming from over here, son.
You've
been annoying me the fucking entire time.
Chris's ears are fucked. But yeah, they think this one's gonna be like they're like, oh, it probably just won't have the appeal. I'm like, okay, being an animated movie, maybe it won't have the appeal. But what I actually think the biggest thing that will kill any kind of interest in this is the Rings of Power.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
that was rubbish, and it's getting its second season's underway.
Oh,
it's like,
gosh.
great, excellent. That's what we need more.
I wonder how well that's gonna go.
Well, considering that the first season only kept 35% of its viewership, and I don't think its numbers were that high to begin with.
You've only got to watch it. There's a lot of fans that still haven't watched it.
Well, I remember distinctly after The Rings of Power came out, something about Clarkson's Farm being the most viewed thing on Amazon, and it was like...
I mean, that's a pretty good show.
It's got 6 million views, and I went, that seems low.
Yeah.
But then I went, if that's the best thing on Amazon...
That's a problem.
I'm like... And it's only got like 6 million views. I'm like, that doesn't bode well for things that aren't as ridiculously stupid as Clarkson's Farm.
Guys, go watch it if you haven't. It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good.
I consider it part of Top Gear.
But see, that is the show that has stopped us from recording things before.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we've just sat there watching. It's like, shit, we've been sitting here for 2 hours. I gotta go.
Yeah, but no, like, yeah, I'm just like, I really think that the reason that if this Lord of the Rings, like, okay, first of all, you didn't even know it was happening. I didn't even know it was happening until I read about it. I have no interest in it whatsoever.
The animated thing what was it?
I'm kind of sitting there going like, I think it shows like the Rings of Power, all of the new Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
There's just so much out there that has killed my passion for these franchises that I fucking love.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, we could honor the franchise, honor what was written, make things that fit in this universe, or we could throw all of that out for our own sensibilities. We need more girl bosses in these things. It's like, right. Okay.
Yeah.
For what reason? Because that's what a small vocal majority like right now. Infallible people.
And the thing, infallible people I don't like.
No one likes an infallible person.
And having a female lead role,
fucking
go for gold. Like, it doesn't bother me in the slightest, but don't make them
infallible.
Yeah, it's as straightforward as
Look,
that.
it's the one
we've had a lot of female roles.
The one that people always use is like, oh yeah, Luke was liked and Rey wasn't because Luke was a man and Rey was a female. It's like, no, because Luke fucking fails more than he succeeds.
Yes.
Rey never fucking failed.
Yeah.
And the few times where
there was no character progression.
The few times where we thought that she would fail, she didn't.
Which was the times she should have.
Well, it's like this. If you ever listened to Mark Hamill talking about when he thought Luke should have been introduced in The Force Awakens, it's in the fight against Kylo.
Yes. When
they're all running away and then you see the lightsaber in the snow wobble and then fly, he was like, that's going to be Luke. Luke grabs the lightsaber and we're going to see that classic Star Wars Episode 5 thing, the lightsaber out of the thing into Luke's hand. Luke saves the day.
Because that would have character progression for Rey.
Rey wouldn't have beat Kylo in the first time they fucking fought.
No.
It's also like so much shit about it. It's like, oh yeah, but she was a trained fighter, not with a lightsaber.
No,
she was very different. Oh, she's a great pilot. Why? Oh, because she used to pretend to be a pilot.
It doesn't make
Luke was literally like, yeah, no, Luke is a great pilot. Everyone in the first fucking time they meet Luke, they're like, Luke's a great pilot.
Yes.
So what's the one thing Luke has in that first movie? He's a great pilot. He's not great with a lightsaber. He doesn't even fight with a lightsaber in that first one.
No, he doesn't.
He's not, he's not a master strategist or heroic fighter. That's actually Han Solo in that first one. Han Solo does most of the killing.
That is true.
And insulting Imperials.
Yeah.
But, Luke isn't perfect in that first one, whereas Rey is a great pilot. She's a great fighter. She can use the Force straight off the bat.
Which makes no sense.
Again, we see Luke, use the Force, 3 times in the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's one of them is to shoot missiles. One of them is to get shot by a training drone, which he can't hit.
Yep.
We see progression, and it's that's what a lot of stuff is missing these days, because you can't show... It almost seems like Hollywood's been you can't show a woman failing.
It seems
why everyone fails. That's how we get better. That's what makes us endearing to other people. Getting the ass back up and keep going forwards. But, this comes from Disney, who literally have a movie, Age of Ultron, where one of the characters literally says that shit. Pretty much almost word for word that line. What the hell am I doing here? I got a bow and an arrow, but we just keep showing up, because that's the job.
That's it.
And it's cool. That makes an endearing character. You know what doesn't make an endearing character? Someone who's I was always powerful. Yeah.
Cool.
Way to go, Captain Marvel. How's that second movie going? But this is the thing. People. Yeah.
Well, I think that also came down to the fact that she didn't actually care about the role.
No, but also and the lies. But here's the thing, right? Superman is literally the infalliblest of all heroes.
Yeah.
How often do we get a good Superman movie?
It's probably been a while, but in his
Name one.
In his movies, he does tend to fail, though.
He does, but his failures...
Sorry. So there are some good ones. They're all animated.
That's not entirely true. But his failures have to be monumental.
They do.
I think in the first Henry Cavill one, an entire city gets destroyed.
Yes.
Because he can't stop the bad guys in time.
Yeah.
These are the types of things you need... The stakes need to be as high as the power level, right? You can't have an all-powerful hero being oh no,
they didn't save 2 people.
It's not even that. Oh no, I can't do washing.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck? What do you mean? Oh yeah, I put my shirt in the wash and it came out red. My white shirt. Oh no. It's that's not a hero's fucking failure. That's just not understanding colors run.
Oh yeah.
But oh no, and they're infallible in every other dimension. It's that's not good storytelling.
No.
And that's what I think. That's why I fucking just hate most of the things. The storytelling's awful. Actually, there is a show that I've been watching that has great storytelling, Reacher.
Yes.
Reacher is fucking great. Why? Because it's just he does 2 things, and he is very upfront about it.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill a lot of people.
Yes.
I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a taped toothbrush. Taped.
That was my.
That's a great part.
My favorite thing. So if you don't know, the second season of Reacher has started, and there's literally a line where someone broke his toothbrush in half, and he's like, "Now I really do own nothing." That's
great.
So actually, we'll finish it up because we've been going long enough. Yeah. But I'll finish this up by saying Halo Infinite 2024.
Cool.
So I've read a bit on this because I actually do love Halo. So Halo Infinite's supposed to be getting its co-op story this year.
Sweet.
It's supposed to be getting that since 6 months after it released.
Well aware of that.
Many people lost their jobs over that, including the head of 343 Industries. Because she went, "We're getting this co-op story." And then she left the job because no one had the co-op story.
Yep.
They are going to keep updating it throughout 2024, which I like because the recent updates have actually been really fun. Added quite some really good game modes back into the game.
Yeah.
I personally don't think Halo Infinite was shit when it came out, like a lot of people seem to, but like where it is now is so much better than where it was, and where it was better than where Halo has been for a long time.
True.
But on the other flip side of that, do you remember the other Halo thing that's been going around recently?
The other Halo thing?
They've got the Halo games.
It's the series, isn't it?
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
Do you remember how good that was?
I never watched it.
You remember how it was critically acclaimed by all of the Halo fans, and none of them hated it and said this is a travesty to the series.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the internet being nothing but praise for that show.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So Halo and Paramount. Are Paramount the ones behind it?
I can't remember who it was. It might be Yeah, it might have been.
Oh, well, they've decided to give me the world's worst birthday present ever. Yeah. Halo Season 2 comes out on the 8th of February. Kill me now. Yeah. Yeah, how's that for a kick in the teeth? Hey, you're an old man. Also, we're destroying that thing that you love. And boy, do you love it.
Yeah.
Save me, noble team. Save me. So there's a second season of that. I was like, how the fuck is that even greenlit? How the fuck is that?
I don't even know how half the stuff is getting greenlit.
When no one who is a fan of the series liked it, and even people who aren't fans of the series were like, it's pretty dog shit, really.
To be honest, I find that I'm honestly getting the impression that a lot of the stuff that is getting greenlit is the stuff that should have ended, and the stuff that should be continued isn't getting greenlit.
It's just
getting really irritating.
I'm perplexed. I'm befuddled. I'm confused. I was like, I knew Rings of Power was getting second season because they'd literally been like, here, take billions of dollars. Also, make a second one. And I was like they decided that before the show even came out, let alone... Now, personally, I feel like if you're Amazon and you're like, good, make this show, and then you're like, yeah, and you're getting a second season, and then the show's shit, and everyone hates it, and no one likes it, you go, so yeah, remember that second season? Yeah, it's canned. You're not getting any more money for it.
No.
Because what the fuck is wrong with you? But no, that's not how Amazon works.
I think they're going down the track of, you've got one more chance.
I wouldn't even give
them Fix it.
I would have given them one more chance after the first fucking episode. Fix it. Or we're pulling it. But no. Then you've got Halo, which, again, as I said, the fans didn't like. No one I know liked it. No one I've heard of liked it. I have not seen a single good thing about Halo the series TV show ever. And somehow it's getting a second season. Not only is it getting a second season, the second season's coming out on my birthday. I love Halo. Don't do this to me. What the fuck is wrong with you, universe? Jeez. Just kick me in the nuts again, why don't you?
That's what it's doing.
Constantly.
Especially when Itachi sees you.
It's just two paws direct. I don't know why Jordan trained him to do that.
It's pretty funny.
He also it's also because he's like, the other thing, right? Itachi is our friend Jordan's dog, who whenever he sees me, 2 feet into my nutsack.
Yes.
But the other thing is, I often wear light-coloured pants, and he always has muddy paws, so then I've just got mud all over my fucking genitals. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. What the fuck? Also, my testicles!
He's like, oh no, my pants! Ow.
My pants. Also, I'm fairly sure I'm going to have cancer after this. Fuck.
Damn.
No. Anyway, guys, that does us for today. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. As always, if you liked it, consider liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff. We really do appreciate it. If you have anything you want to say to us, get down in those comment sections below. Look at the not the Discord,
not the Discord, the Patreon.
If you feel like supporting the channel directly, you can check out our Patreon. If you don't, that's fine. We fully understand. I ain't got no issue with that. Why are you even supporting us? Because that would help Kris.
That wouldn't help me yet, at least.
And most importantly, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I've been Darcy. Here's Kris. Goodbye.
See ya.
It's just always in the dick, man. Why is it always
Every
in
time.
the dick?
Every goddamn time.